All right, so here's the second segment of What Would They Think? And this one is going to be, what would Iron Man, Tony Stark, think of Asami Sato from Legend of Korra? Now, right off the bat, I could see Tony trying to hit on Asami. Right now she's 21 in book 4. She's going to be 21. And even then, she's too young for him. But I could more or less see Tony flirting with her. He does that with every attractive woman. He will flirt with them. So I could see Tony more or less flirting right off the bat and be like, "Hey, I'm a rich billionaire. I'm a superhero. Want to hang out?" To which Pepper would be like, "No." And Asami would be like, "I'm not doing that." But he'd be hitting on her, and then Asami would be like, "Listen, I'm not into that. Every girl says that at one point to me. They all change their minds." But yeah. Now, what I could honestly see is if Iron Man was in the universe of, if Iron Man was in, the Legend of Korra universe, I could see Tony with Asami, more or less giving her pointers on how to build her mecha tanks. But on the other hand, I could see him be like, "Well, you're really using these things for war, and I used to do that too. But then, something happened to me, and I gave up on the military half. I more or less scrapped the military stuff and went on to bigger and better things, in my opinion." And yeah, I could see him trying to convince Asami, "Look, let's try to get out of the war business, the weapons business. Try to do that." And on the other hand, I could see him giving Asami pointers on I could see him looking at the mecha tanks from the previous seasons and the current season. I could see him looking at the Tony looking at the armors, at the giant armors, and be like, "Huh, mecha tanks, huh? There's a problem right there. There's a problem. There's a problem. There's a problem. That's definitely a problem. Why'd you make these things out of platinum? Platinum sucks. Go with titanium." Or a stronger alloy or something, because Tony would totally be cutting down on the mecha tanks. Like, he'd be looking at it and be like, "Look, you want my advice? Do something better, because these things suck." I could see, more or less, like, if anything, I could see Tony taking Asami under his wing and teaching her how to run a business, how to run the business and how to improve on the armors. I could even see, Tony letting her. I could see. I imagined Asami asking to put on if she can put on the Iron Man armor, and of course Tony, trying to impress a young woman, would be like, "Yeah, sure, you can put on the armor." And Asami getting it, like, he'd be like, I could see Tony like, "Well, you probably won't get it. You're probably crashing into the wall," and Asami gets it right off the bat. Asami just flying around and Tony just looking at her, be like, I hate being stood up." Oh man, I truthfully could really see Asami just getting the hang of Tony's armor right off the bat and be like, "Huh, I wonder if I could reverse engineer that." "No, you're not." And that's the point when Tony would be like, "Nope, you're not doing that. You're not taking this armor's patented Stark stuff. This is mine, not yours. Get your own." Oh, that'd be great. Among other things, I could see, like, imagine if Asami traveled into the 616 universe and, looked around Stark Tech, she would look around at Stark Industries and be a kid in the candy store. She would be looking at all the stuff like arc reactors and all the different Iron Man armors and all the other devices and inventions that Tony's company has created, and just be like, "Man, I am just centuries behind you." And to which Tony would be like, "Yeah, you technically are. Your universe is still around in the pseudo 1920s. You've got a long way to go." Oh, that would be great. I'd imagine Asami taking down notes as she's touring Stark Industries while Tony's telling her everything about, his company and how everything works, all at the same time still trying to impress her. Among other things, I could see, again, Asami hanging out with, just hanging out with Tony, showing her all of the cars he owns, and just how he'd be like, these things trump your Sotomobiles by about a lot. In layman's terms, yeah, my car, the cars I own in my private collection could easily kick your car's ass. Oh man. But yeah, if anything, these two would get along really great. I could honestly see, despite Tony just hitting on her, but that, if anything, it would just be Tony just being Tony and not really being serious at all and just having a little fun with it. And like I said, I could see it more as like Tony taking Asami under his wing and trying to move her company away from from war machines and stuff like that. I could see her, see him, at least giving her a hand in most of the stuff. Because I think Tony would look at Asami and just be like, you've got a lot of potential, but you don't have to waste your potential here, toiling away and working on all this, war machines. I used to do that, and then eventually, that damaged my heart, and here I am. But on the other hand, that made me Iron Man. So in one way, yeah, I see it more as like these two becoming business friends. even though obviously Tony has the bigger company and the more technology, because in his universe it's in the present day, and he's got all this great all these great scientific advances that most of his company has done, whereas Asami's still, like I said earlier, stuck in the 1920s, 30s era in a pseudo kind of way. And yeah, she's got a lot of catching up to do, but like I said, Tony would take her under his wing and show her all the ropes, while at the same time be casual hit on here and there. But honestly, we all know that he'd be loyal to Pepper for the most part. And yeah, the other way I could see it is like maybe Tony introducing Asami to Rhodey. Asami would probably cream herself if she saw the War Machine armor. Like, she would take one look at the War Machine armor and be like, "Oh my God, I need this armor, and I need to know how to make this armor." And Tony would be like, "Moving on. Nice seeing you, Rhodey." I could see a lot of back and forth between all of them, and yeah, I would only imagine, if Asami if Tony was introduced to Varric, or Varric found Iron Man, found Tony. Those two would, I don't know how those two would interact. Varric and Tony. Oh God, could you imagine those two in a room? No one is safe. While at the same time, Pepper and Julie are in the back going, "Fuck our lives. Oh no." To which Pepper would be like, "Oh no, he just found his universal double. We are all dead." But I could also see Asami getting along very well with Pepper. I could see those two carrying on a conversation, and Pepper would be like, "Wow, as young as you are, and all the all the tragedy you felt, from your mother dying to your own father, more or less betraying the whole world. You still managed to step up to the plate and, do great things, Pepper, I think Pepper would honestly look at Asami and be like, "Wow, you're amazing." And Tony would even be impressed. Like I said, he would be in Pepper. I think Tony would be impressed of dealing with all the BS in Asami, looking at all the hearing all the BS from Asami's life in the past, and still being able to run a company. Granted, she's trying her best, mind you, but I could see Tony being like, "All right, you've done, you're doing a really good thing here, and I want to help you in any way I can." So that's how I could see, those two more or less hanging out. At the end, I could see them more as business friends. These two would I could see them laughing, hanging out, and God help us all if Tony ever found Varric, because, oh dear Lord, those two, neither of those universes are safe if Tony and Varric started hanging out and become BFFs. those two, yikes. Even though Varric was obviously a criminal, I think Tony would be like, hey, I'm no angel either. Want to hang out? Oh man, the chaos would ensue. So yeah, but more getting back to Asami and Tony, these two would make great business partners. I could see, Tony once again helping Asami build, better mecha tanks, or improving on them, or even helping Asami change Varric Industries, her company, and changing it for the better. Helping her, trying to go in a different route with the Sotomobiles. Yeah, that's where I could see another thing, like him helping her improve the Sotomobiles to a greater extent. Those two, yeah, I could see like him looking at a Sotomobile and going, "Oh hell no, this is not working. Take everything apart. We're gonna make something better here." So yeah, what do you guys think? What do you guys think Tony Stark would think of Asami? You guys think they would get along or not? Or yeah, what do you think they would think of one another? So you guys comment and let me know in the comments below. And once again, I hope you guys enjoyed this what would they think, but also the one previous as well. And yeah,